we're going to go over the different operations available for data cleaning within the machine learning trainer. When you are creating your data set within the ML trainer, you'll notice that you have several different options under the operations. Discard, replace with mean, replace with value, and replace with previous value. These operations refer to how SORBA is going to respond when there are null values within your data set. In order for the machine learning algorithms to work, we need to remove any null values from the data set. And so, this operation is how it will handle a null for this tag. Note that you can change all of the operations to a different one using this menu here, or you can change individual ones so that way different ones are handled in different ways. Now, in order to demonstrate this, we're going to be using a fake data set here, just 3 tags, and what would happen with a null value in this row for tag 2. So, if we were to have tag 2 set to discard values, then the way that this would be dealt with is quite simple. It would delete this entire row, and the data would be, this would be the final data set. The row in which there was a missing value for tag 2 would be entirely discarded. Now, this can be good in some situations. However, if you have one tag that is missing a lot of data, and the rest of your tags have good data for all of those times, then setting it to discard can potentially remove large sections of your data. So let's say that, for instance, tag 2 was missing one every single other row. You would then be discarding half of your data for your other 2 tags, even though those data sets are complete. Which is why sometimes some of the options that do not discard the row, but rather fill in the value, may be preferable. To look at those, I'm going to copy this over again. Next option that we have is to replace with the mean. What this is going to do is very simple. It's going to look at the average value of this tag, which in this case comes out to 3, and it will fill in the missing data with the average value for the tag. All of the remaining methods for cleaning the data are similar to this in that they are filling in the hole. You can either replace with the mean value, you can replace with a set value, in which case we could set a value here. So let's say we set the value as 4. It would fill in the value for that tag as 4. Or the other option is to replace with the previous value, which is simply going to take whatever the last value for the tag was, and it will fill in the missing value. This can be good to fix situations, as I just described, where there is a large amount of missing data that is regular in its pattern. So for instance, let's say that every other value for this tag was missing. It may be good to simply use replace with previous value, and that way, instead of removing half of your data, you would just fill in these holes, and you end up then with a better quality data set that shows the variation in the other tags for the information that you had. In situations like this, where it's a regular occurrence of missing holes in your data, I would personally recommend using replace with previous value, because that is still going to capture the variation of this tag. One other thing to note is that when you are using replace with value, there is one other slightly less common usage for this, and this is more when you're doing an initial discovery or an exploratory data set. You may want to put in some form of, a ridiculously large number. So I just put in -1 million for that tag. So what that will do is it'll make it very easy when you are looking at your data set with the Explore feature after making this data set. It will be very easy for you to pick out where there are issues with your data, so that way you can better see any patterns with the holes in your data set. So that is one potential use for replace with value. It can be used to make it easy to spot the holes inside of your dataset Explore page. However, that would of course be for identifying the holes. You wouldn't really want that to be your final data set that you use to generate a project. And those are the different operations that can be used to clean your data set within the machine learning trainer.